Alright, it has been a while, so let's recap. Last we saw our hero, he was dying of dengue fever. He assaulted some poor young lady's booty cheeks and stepped barefoot into a bathroom brown puddle of Vietnamese train crap. Will Barry make it out alive? We'll come back to that. First, we have to rewind. There's a story that I forgot to tell you guys. So after we had visited that hostel in Moyne, we ended up having to go back to Saigon. See, Cindy was only staying with us for 2 weeks, so we had to return so that she could catch her plane back to America. While we were in Saigon, though, we stayed there for about 4 or 5 days, and while we were there, I decided to get some souvenirs for my friends. I made a long list of friends that I was going to buy some stuff for. Everything's so cheap in Vietnam, it was easy to be able to do that. So, I frequented the Bintan market. So there I am one day, just kind of hanging out on the outskirts of the Bintan market. I'm walking down the street, and this lady comes up to me. She goes, You want sunglasses? I thought about it for a second. I was like, no, I have some back at home. Don't even worry about it. I wasn't carrying them around that day, but I just wasn't very interested. She goes, No, I give you a good deal. What brand you like? I was like, okay, all right, I like Oakley's. Let's see what you got. She pulls out this little duffel, opens it up, and pulls out the ugliest pair of Oakley's I think I'd ever seen in my life. I'll see if I can find a picture online to show you guys. Just imagine the ugliest black plastic, and then underneath, this really, like, even cheaper rubber material. Just not very good looking pair. So I look at her and I'm like, not really interested. Thank you, but no, I'm going to take off. She goes, No, you put them on. You like. 200,000, you like. Now, 200,000 is like $8. I already knew I was going to be spending $8 on this piece of crap pair. But I went ahead and I put them on anyway. As soon as I put them on my face, this lady, her face looks as though she's seen a ghost. And she sprints away from me. Now I'm sitting there like, what the hell? Where's she going? And I'm just kind of following her with my eyes. And she kind of gets lost in the crowd a little bit. So now I'm in this interesting position where I'm like, I could steal these. These could just be mine now. I don't have to pay a cent for them. And I'm kind of going back and forth in my head. I don't know why I became a klepto at that second in my head. But I was just sitting there like, why not? I mean, right here, right? I finally catch her in my vision again, and she's tucked away behind a car. And she's looking over the car, and when I look to see what she's looking at, she's got her eyes fixated on a cop. Now, counterfeit goods is kind of a problem out in Vietnam. Which kind of got me to chuckle a little bit, because that's exactly what was going on. And she makes eye contact with me. And she waves me over. I'm like, oh man, this is it. I can run and take these things, or I can go over there and follow this story through. You know, I'm just kind of just going back in my head, and she's like waving me over. I was like, all right, let's go see what she wants. And I walk over there, and she goes, You like? 200,000 for you. No. I go down. 180,000. And I look at her, and a smirk goes across my face, and I was like, 30,000. Her eyes get wide. Now, 30,000 is about like $1.28 over there. It's like nothing. Her eyes get wide, and she's like, No, not 30,000. Why 30,000? No. And I said, look, you got cops. I don't even really care about these glasses. So either you sell them to me for 30, or I take off. I'm not interested. Dude, the look on this chick's face. She looks back at me and she goes, 60,000. I give her the 60,000 and I got these new shades and I continue to walk down the street. But the story doesn't end there. So I'm walking down the street and this guy approaches me and he goes, Hey, you want to buy sunglasses? And I'm like, come on, dude, are you serious? I got sunglasses literally on my face right now. Are you joking me? No, I don't want. He goes, No, those ugly. That gross pair. No. I give you good pair. You like Oakley? Yes, I do like Oakley. Okay, you got me curious. Go ahead and open your duffel. So he pulls his duffel over, opens it up, and he pulls out this pair of sunglasses. Nice looking pair, honestly. Like, okay, I actually would wear those. He looks over and he goes, How much you spend? I said 60,000. He goes, I give you 80,000. Man, that's a good deal. And I'm sitting there talking with him, and I'm like, look, dude. Here's the problem. I don't need your glasses. As much as I like those over what I have, I don't need them. I don't care. So, no, I'm not interested. He goes, no, 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 you have two, just in case. I was like, here's the deal. Here's what I'll do, okay? And I'm like talking to him like this. Here's what I'll do. I will buy those glasses for 120,000, not 80, 120. But you have to take these from me. This ugly pair, and you have to resell them to someone else. The dude looks at me. He pauses for a good second, and then he looks at me and he goes, no! And I will never forget his face. No! And I'm like, alright, dude, that's the deal. If you want to sell these, that's the deal. Sorry, dude, I don't need them. I don't need them. I just bought these, and I have another pair at home. I'm taking off. See you, dude. He stops me. Wait. He gets real close, right up to my ear, and he goes, I do for you. I do for you. I give him the 120,000, take off that ugly pair, and I pass it over to him, and he gives me this nice new pair of Oakleys. Walk down the street. Totally gypped that dude. There I am, I'm walking down the street, all confident about my brand new pair of glasses. And who do I see? This dude's sitting there on the side of the road with a motorcycle, and he goes, hey, you want motorbike? And I was like, wait a minute. You're the guy that gypped me out of 30,000 the other day. And he goes, my friend. I was like, we're not friends, buddy. And I continued to walk away. Alright, back to Da Nang. So we get off the train to Da Nang, and we finally get to the apartment that we're going to stay at. It was a 3-bedroom apartment, and we were staying with a couple friends actually, Shannon and Dan, who actually came with us from Longsun. I was very ill at this point. I was so sick, I probably spent 4 days just in that apartment throwing up over and over again. It was not fun. It was kind of cool though, looking out the window those 4 days. There was an Aces store just down the corner, and then a few blocks away from that, there was a computer building place. It was actually kind of neat, but we'll get to that later. So there I am, it's like the 5th day that we're out in Da Nang, and there was something that I needed to go take a picture of. I actually was saying that I don't care if this kills me, I need a picture of this thing, and we'll get to that soon. So there I am, walking down the street, trying to get to this thing, and I come across this part of town that's just gorgeous. The people here really know how to accentuate, and the artwork around everything is just phenomenal. And this is what I was trying to get to. In Da Nang, they have a famous dragon bridge. Now this dragon spans across the entire bridge. At night, it lights up with LEDs. At 9 o'clock p.m. every night, this dragon shoots fire out of its mouth and then shoots water, which is a magnificent sight that I actually didn't get to see, but I have seen videos of. I spent this whole day walking around, stopping, puking, trying to get as much as I possibly could, and I stayed out for quite a while. At night they have these little LED boats that you can pay to go down the river with. It was really cool to see those. They put LEDs on everything, like the buildings are just giant gaming PCs. Now this yacht down here was actually a restaurant. It was kind of expensive. I was also not in the mood to eat, and I never did get to go there. So I get back to the apartment and I'm feeling like hell. So Jake goes ahead and he takes me down to the basement where there's a bit of a pharmacy and then also to get food. Down there we found such classics as Kellogg's Fruit Rings, and who can forget about Lay's Stack's Hot Chili Squid flavor. The next day, still feeling like crap, but it's time to go out. I spent 5 days just inside and I wanted to visit Vietnam. I didn't care how sick I was. So we went to the Marble Mountains. Now the Marble Mountains are really cool. What they'll do is they go up to the top of these mountains, grab these giant blocks of marble and quartz and other such material, pull it down, and then handcraft it. And it's really cool to see them do it. You can actually see them as you walk down the road chiseling away at the stuff. So to get to the top entrance, you have to take an elevator, which it was gorgeous up there. Now I don't remember if the pictures I took on this day were very good. I ended up spending a lot of time on this bench, and I actually ended up telling the group to go on without me. I was feeling so ill, and I think I sat on this bench for probably 35 minutes just trying to recuperate. As I would walk along the path alone, I would walk for maybe 10 minutes, and then I had to stop for another 10 minutes. It wasn't really all that fun. I actually ran into one of the largest mafia members down here. You came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. I really wish I hadn't have felt so crappy. I'm looking at all these pictures and I barely remember any of it. I was just so in my head about how sick I was. The temples were gorgeous as well, but it didn't take long before it was time for me to head back down. I just couldn't make it. I was feeling way too sick. I had to go back down. So there I am on my way down, and at the very bottom you have all these shops. The people who collect the marble will take them down to the shops, they'll work on it there, and then they'll sell the goods that they have. Well, I walk down, and this lady, as soon as I exit the stairs, she offers me into her shop. I get in the shop, and she says, You buy from me? You buy from me? And she could tell by the look on my face I wasn't feeling very well, and I said as best as I could. I don't think she spoke any English. No, I'm not feeling good. I just need a rest. Is it okay if I rest for a bit? I'm just no good. So I translate to her that I'm very sick. I have a fever, and I'm waiting for my friends to come back down. They stayed up there for another hour and a half, just climbing to the very top, and I wish I could have seen that. Just so ill. Now this lady went from a merchant who was trying to sell me something to a grandmother figure. She goes and grabs a basket and puts it right in front of me. I was sitting at a table. She puts this little basket, like a fry basket, right in front of me. Packs it over with newspaper, and then packs a towel over that, and says, use as pillow. I lay down on it and not feeling good. She gave me a complimentary water, which tends to cost money. I didn't have to pay for. And I got to sit there for as long as I had to. It got to a point, I think, an hour in, where I had to run to the bathroom and I started throwing up. While I was doing that, all the shops all around this area were closing. People were going home. This lady kept her shop open for me because she wanted to make sure that my friends were coming to help me. It really warmed my heart how much they care about random strangers over there. It's just... Why can't everywhere be like that? So there I am, I'm throwing up. I get out of the toilet. I'm feeling a lot better. And I start to walk towards the exit, and she says, we close soon. You leave for your friends? And I said, yes, but first, I buy from you. Smile grows across her face. She's so happy. She's showing me everything in her store. Kept it open for another 30 minutes, just showing me everything she could in her store. And I ended up buying a quartz, I think it was quartz, some sort of crystalline pink heart-shaped rock. And I got that for my mother. It was overall a pretty okay day. So I get back to the apartment and I'm done with this. I'm sick of this fever. I need it to go away. And I look at Jake and I was like, dude, I don't care what you have to give me. Give me anything that will make me feel better. I need to eat. I'm losing all my weight. I can't do this. I have to eat. And he goes, well, if those pills didn't work yesterday, I got weed. The second I smoked that weed, I was treated. I had energy again. I was laughing. My personality came right back. I was hungry again. And I jogged down to the store and got us all baked potatoes. And we had baked potato dinner. Fixed me right up. The next day we headed to Black Santa. And we got to see him. After that, we went and visited a temple. Now, this is probably one of my favorite temples that we actually visited in Vietnam. It had pretty much everything you'd be looking for. The sculptures were beautiful. Marble all over the place, of course. The rock formations, the sculptures, the temple, the vegetation around, it was just perfect. Most, if not all of these sculptures you're seeing are all handcrafted, which amazes me every time I look at them. So, funny story about this temple. It was beautiful, first of all, but I had been doing laundry that day. So I didn't have any socks. I had to borrow socks from Asia, which had pot leaves on them. When I walked into the temple, there were other people wearing socks and it was totally fine. But when I walked in, the monk came up to me and he's like, you, no socks. I was like, everyone else is wearing socks. What's the deal? He goes, no socks. I was like, okay. All right, no worries. And I left the temple. Now I keep saying it, but the sculptures are some of my most favorite parts. And this one is definitely the favorite one. This is a giant sculpture of one of the Buddhas. I think there are 4 giant sculptures across Vietnam, and they're all different Buddhas. This one was here watching over Da Nang. I really liked how they made her look down at you. It was like one of those photos where the eyes always kind of follow you around, but she had such a peaceful face. It was really nice. Right in front of the sculpture, though, is an area filled with monkeys. Now, I'd been to a petting zoo before, but none of this was gated. They just were out in the wild. This was just a situation you could throw yourself into, which we absolutely did. Now, you can tell the female monkeys from the male monkeys, well, firstly, by the underground package, but secondly, by the nipples. The mothers have really long nipples from suckling, and the fathers don't. The monkeys were all over the place. I actually have footage of one of them attacking a couple dudes. I like this guy too. When I turned around to look at what this monkey was looking at, he was looking straight up at the Buddha. Guys, come check this out! So we left the part of the area with the monkeys for a little bit. I wanted to see the rest of the park before we moved on, and the rest of it was gorgeous. There were sculptures everywhere, flowers everywhere. I was constantly being reminded by how much personality the people have. We traveled around the park for a little bit, but of course we wanted to go back and see the monkeys. At this point, I think we had Nature Valley granola bars. We were breaking them apart, holding them in our hands, and the monkeys would actually walk up and gently take them from us, and then pop them in their mouths. And we just continued doing that for a little bit with grapes and Nature Valley granola, just whatever we had around. Now this guy, this is the guy. This guy was a jerk. So there I am, sitting on the side rail on the stairs, and this guy jumps up pretty much right next to me. He's maybe 4 or 5 feet away, and he's staring me down. Now, the thing that I didn't realize about these monkeys is you make eye contact, and you're pretty much asking for a fight. I didn't know. So there I am, I'm looking at this guy, and he starts to bare his teeth at me. This is the point where fear just right through my body, and I stand up and I'm staring this guy down, and I said to him, I'm kicking you in the face. It's the only thing I'm gonna be able to do. You're obviously faster, you're gonna rip my face off, but if I'm getting a hit, I'm kicking you in the face. And as soon as I finished that sentence, thank God he didn't attack me, he just kind of walked away. I just got lucky. Don't do that. That's a very bad idea. Do not provoke these guys. They'll just rip you apart. These guys are actually way stronger than they look, even though they're like 4-foot midgets. Don't mess around. We hung out and played around with the monkeys until we didn't have any more food left. Poor little guy. We didn't give him any. This is Shannon, by the way. She'd popped a grape on top of her head. She was trying to get the monkeys to climb up on her and take it from her. It never ended up happening. After that point, it was time to take off. And the next day, I was feeling a lot better, and it was time for me to go check out those computer places that they had around the area. First, I went to the Aces store, wasn't really a lot around. Then I went to this place, Long Technology. It was actually kind of funny. When I went in there, some guy comes up to me and he's like, "You want me to build you a computer?" I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm good. I'm good." After that, I started walking down the road looking for a cafe. I was trying to find the right one. Went by some funky coffee, and I eventually found this one called Happy Heart. Now, the cool thing about this place, I didn't know this until I had gotten there. Everyone who worked there was deaf. So there was no such thing as language barrier. Everyone had to do the same thing. They'd give you a menu with a bunch of pictures, and you just tap the one you want. You say, 1, pancake, which is exactly what I got. Pancakes are hard to find in Vietnam, so when I did find them, you better believe I was getting me some pancake. After that, I traveled around for a little bit more, and then I went to dinner at this nice little Korean place. Got me some sushi, had me some tea, and I also had this banana smoothie, which I'd never had before in my life, and is now a staple of my life. Have one, they're the best things in ever. Now, this was the part that I was waiting for. I wanted to feel good enough so that I could go out at night and go capture this dragon lit up, which I got a few different angles of. This one's definitely my favorite picture. I walked around for quite a while, had myself a really good evening. That was the coolest part about Vietnam. It didn't matter what time it was, 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 a.m. You walk out and you're safe. No one's gonna do you harm. It depends on what district. But for the most part, I mean, I never ran into a single problem. It was actually really, really nice to go out at night. So we have our couple weeks in Da Nang, and it's time to leave. Before we did, we went and got ourselves some Mexican food, which I had not been able to find anywhere else. The tacos were okay, the nachos were really good, the burritos, not really. They had lobster tacos though, and those were wonderful. I also went ahead and tested out a watermelon smoothie, which was not as good as the banana smoothie. Get one of those, oh my god, they're amazing. And with that smoothie, that ended our trip. After Da Nang, we decided instead of heading up north, we were going to go back down and hang out in Saigon for a little bit, which is by far where most of the stories happened. However, I will tell those next time. Thank you guys for watching this series, if you have been, and I will see you in that next video. Bye, guys.